sit down.
Luke Henry, after kicking Monarch's ass to the depths of space, is back on Earth, and now he's looking to save the world from the Fourth World Foundation. Sure, he had help from Penumbra before, but she's not helping him this time. He's got to face it on his own. Look at these four people. He's coming for a villain known as Adonis. He'll do it. You'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2, Learning Curve.
He'll do it. You'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2, Learning Curve. That gorgeous voice you heard was mine. Warm it up. Hello, everybody. Doing a little impromptu stream as I'm inking something. I want to take the MegaCon to try and sell. Right here, it's this Captain America piece. Look at that, holding Thor's hammer. He's pow! I have the power! Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. I like to mix up different things. So the Captain America holding Thor's hammer, saying, "Bitch, give me that hammer." So I thought I'd do a little inking on a live stream. I hope everyone's doing well. Hola to you, Past Master Dan. Now my cat is mad. Why? What did your cat? What? Why is your cat mad? Omar, hello. What? Why is your cat mad? It's not me, is it? I hope not. Guys, back First Man Volume 2 Learning Curve link is in the description below the video. Click on that bad boy. Head on over and contribute to the Andy Smith First Man Fund. Ahoy, Val. How are you? So I sold a couple pieces on the auction last night, even though I don't get the technical problems. Ethan says he can hear something. I don't hear it. I've done other streams with people using the exact same equipment. Nobody hears it. So I have no idea what the deal is, but whatever. We'll try and figure it out and get it working, because I know you want to hear me talk on Ethan's stream, not just look at my pretty face. So we'll try and work it out. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm surprised we're streaming on the weekend. Like I said, I got to do a little inking, and I can actually show the inking on this, unlike the other stuff I have. We'd love to see how some of us interpret your work. I can... Let me think about that. I might be able to upload high-res pencils to a Dropbox and then put the link in the description, and then you guys can go grab it whenever you want and ink it. So yeah, that could be something we do. So I'm going to switch cameras and get to inking so my little brushy here doesn't dry out, and do that. And I'll look up every now and then if you guys would like to comment. I like looking at your comments. So that is what we're going to do. So let me switch cameras here. See, I know how to do all this stuff. It's just, let's see, there it is. Unfortunately, it's not directly overhead, but it's good enough for you guys to get the gist. Now I got to put my glasses on. You guys don't get to see that. You guys just get to see me ink, but you don't get to see me with my old man specs. Had to run to Home Depot today. That's always fun. Pick up something for the old bathroom sink. Our stopper isn't working too well, so I have to replace it, which means I'll probably end up breaking something and then having to call somebody in. My brush just glides over the paper. Oh, feel that. Captain America holding his mighty shield. No idea if that's how the song goes. Man, I wish I could play music. Then you guys would be entertained, but I play music. I did that on a stream before, and I got a nice little strike against me. So can't have that. Love the dimensionality of the figure. Oh, thank you very much. You guys are too kind. I don't think I'm going to be able to join in the art auction tonight, if anybody's wondering, because I have my wife got some tickets to this Van Gogh exhibit in town, and it's tonight. And you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. I guess the one for the husband is, want a happy hubby? Keep him fed and chubby. So what do you think of that? Happy wife, happy life. Want a happy hubby? Keep him fed and chubby. If only Aaron was around. He could join me, but he's not. I wish the resolution was a little better for you guys to see this. Let me try one thing. I don't know if this is going to make it any better for you guys to see, but how's that? Do you guys like A or B? A or, oh, that's clear. All right, we'll go with that. Now you just get to see my face pop in every now and then, probably. Now I could ink this with all brush, but you know, I hear the cicadas now. Not over here, you're not, man. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Are you guys, you know, I wonder if Ethan's just gaslighting me, making me think my equipment's bad. I don't know. No, I know he's not doing that. It looks like I got a lot of light on this piece, but man, if you could see what I see, I'd like to have a desk lamp, but that's okay. Do I have a fan running? Nope. I do not have a fan running. So you guys hear something that sounds like a fan. I don't hear anything like that. I'd mute my mic and try to listen to it. Oh, no. Just trying to help. Man, I would appreciate all the help I can get to figure this situation out, because I've been on lots of Ethan's live streams, and it's just recently about this whole noise thing. So I really don't know what it is. as I haven't changed anything. Anyhow, I could ink this all brush, but I won't. I'll do the rendering with a brush pen because I want to give it a specific feel. It's a little more illustrative that way. If I ink this all brush, it'll have more of a old school feel, and I don't want that. Look at me flipping this paper around like it's a pizza. Oh, I just said pizza. Now I want pizza. It's not loud at all. You know, I don't think it is either. I think Ethan is just so sensitive to sounds, maybe. I don't know. I don't hear it. I don't hear anything like that. So I'm just so perplexed. I wonder if I could listen to the Ben Shapiro podcast and if that would get me a copyright thing compared to music. Because I do like listening to Shapiro. And before I came on, I was listening to Big Ben. Big Ben. He's a small guy. But before I came on, I was listening to him, but I stopped it because I don't know if I'm allowed to listen to that while I work. Oh, when I shuffle the paper, I mean, there's not much I can do about that. I mean, the microphone's going to pick that up. But when I'm on a live stream with like Ethan and anybody else doing an interview, there's no paper shuffling to be had. So, and if I turn the mic off, you won't be able to hear me. So I can't do that. This is my Captain America. And what I mean by that is I'm doing his chainmail stuff, the old Mike Zeck way, which just blops from the brush. I'm giving him the belt buckle that's just a rectangle square, or a rectangle square, a rectangle with nothing else. Play the Camel Moon show from last night. I was listening to it earlier. Hilarious. Yeah, I don't know about that. Not that it wasn't hilarious, but just playing another stream like that while I'm working might be too distracting because I would want to look up. That's why, like, podcasts, are you near a cold air return or event? Nope. I'm not. I have a ductless heating AC system, but that's on a wall, and the wall's not close to me at all. Ooh, I rhymed. I busted down a rhyme, yo. I said the wall is not close to me at all. Oh, something about kneecaps. I just love inking. Love inking kneecaps. I've tried inking things like with microns, really thin outline, kind of mimicking a Travis Charest style. And I've tried inking things with microns, kind of doing a Frank Cho style. But I got to be honest, I always come back to the brush. I just love what a brush can do. Guys, tweet this around, share it. I would love to see how many live streamers I can get watching. Maybe the fan of your computer, is it close to your mic? Nope. This is a desktop computer, but the computer itself is on the floor by my feet, the console. So I seriously doubt the mic is picking that up. Once again, nothing has changed from before when I would stream on or be on somebody's channel. And Ethan's channel is the only one where they tell me. Now, maybe the other people are just like, whatever. And don't care enough to tell me. I don't know. John told me last night to reach out to Mr. Eric Weathers, as he's a tech god, I guess. So I did send him a message. So hopefully he'll get back to me, and maybe we can jump on a phone call and he can work it out. I'm also not against buying different equipment, even though the one webcam, not the one I'm using now, but the one that is in front of me to show my glorious face, I literally just bought it last week. And, you know, I paid a little more than I usually would for it because it has a little ring light on it so it can light up my pretty face, yo, so you guys can see my face. But I don't think it's the webcam. Are you going to be on Cecil's show? I mean, I was very honored when I left last night. Before I signed off, Cecil was like, shoot, hit me up so we can get on a stream together. So I did send him a message this morning about streaming with him. So I don't know if he's a late night guy. Actually, what am I saying? I'm sure Cecil's a late night guy. So when he gets back to me, hopefully, I'd love to chat with Cecil more one-on-one. I did think it was interesting yesterday when John mentioned how the Jack Show name came about. I kind of wondered that because nobody's named Jack, and then it made sense. John, Anna, Cecil, and Kelsey. Jack. Cecil versus Christine. Let's rumble. You know, if Cecil's like, I don't want to talk to you, I want to talk to Christine, I guess I can get her in here. So my inking process, if anybody's wondering, is yes, I do outline the figure generally first. And then once the figure is outlined, I'll go back in and do some of the inner stuff. To get a point on the brush, I'll sometimes do some inner stuff first, just to warm up my hand. If it is a Razer webcam, probably has a built-in mic, could be picking up vibrations. Yeah, all these webcams have built-in microphones that I have. So the type of webcam I have does have a built-in microphone, but I don't know what vibration it would be picking up. Like, can you expound on that? Like, what vibration are you thinking it would be picking up? I was using an external mic on one of Ethan's shows. The first time he said he heard the noise. Monday night. This past Monday was the first time Ethan said he heard the noise, and I was actually using an external mic. And he said, and that's when he first said he heard it. So I thought it's because I changed over my equipment to an external mic, so I unplugged it. Webcam mics are shit. This is why you have the worst sound quality on Ethan's show. Other guys are using webcam mics, I believe. What mic was I using? Can you show it to us on the camera? Yeah, hold on a second. Let me finish inking this leg, and I can show you that. One second. But I can tell you this too, when I use the mic, it doesn't plug straight into the computer. It has to plug into a soundboard that I have, a little mixing board, because the microphone has one of those big fat metal ends, not a USB. But here, hold on, let me see. Let me ink his head. I really want to get the outlining done. By the way, I'm not trying to shit on you, just saying that dude, I want all the help I can get. Could be a fan, could be air running past whatever it is connected to. I want all the help I can get. Now, if you start busting down my artwork and you're not an artist, I might have to have some words with you. But if you're talking about my technical stuff, I just want to get it taken care of so I don't have issues. So, almost done. Just got to finish inking his head. Then I'll clean my brush out. And I'll show you guys the microphone. All right, let me clean my brush, and I'll show you guys the mic. And my computer is not old, so it ain't my computer. And I love saying the word ain't because my wife hates it when I say the word ain't. She's like, ain't's not a word. I hate it when you say that. And I'm like, whatever. All right, hold on. Gotta take my glasses off. Nobody needs to see me with my glasses. Let me switch the cam. Hello. Let's see. You may need a computer audio interface. Man, I don't even know what that is. I will send you some options. That would be awesome. You can't draw kneecaps. Full shit. Oh, burn. You know, when I was a little kid growing up, hey, Shant, how are you? Thank you for popping on. When I was a kid growing up, my dad used to call me knobby knees because I had skinny legs. And he said my knees really were like just these like really popped out balls on top of my legs. So he used to call me knobby knees. So you just brought back painful memories about kneecaps. Why would you do that? I'm kidding. That is master acting, by the way. Okay, so microphone wise, I've got this. I don't know if this, oh wait. I've got this microphone right here. Shant, I'm doing good. Shiro Pocket. I sold that last night, by the way. So I've got this microphone. I don't know if this helps you. It actually has a headphone jack in it. And then to plug it into my computer, I've got to use this little mixing board right here. And I plug it into my computer with this little USB. And I mean, if you guys want, we can test that crap out right now. I don't care. I'll plug it in, see if I can get it working right now and see what you guys think of the sound quality. What brand is it? Of course you're going to ask me that. I'm going to go to Amazon and tell you because that's where I bought it. OS. What the F? No, no, no. You need an interface. Okay, hold on. I think I know what you're talking about. Wait a second. Hold on. I've got something that I think I know what you're talking about. You got me looking for it now. Damn it, it's under here. Oh, wait. No, that's not it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on to my love. Hold on to my heart. It's not there. It's not there. Damn it. I'm pretty sure I have what you're talking about. Hey, look what I found. Ready? This is not the interface, but this thing looks like a cheap Chinese analog converter. Could be. Wait. In brightest day, in blackest night, No evil shall escape my sight. Beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Anyhow, okay, hold on. I believe I know exactly what you're talking about. Damn it. Damn it, what is this? Oh, it's all right. Hold on. You asked, I think I do have an interface. I have a beautiful face. Oh my God, I do have something. Guys, let me tell you, you're hurting my brain. You're really hurting my brain right now. By the way, life size. Look at that. Life size. I'm a zombie. I'm a Rob Zombie. Always like Puck. Hold on to that feeling. This thing looks like a cheap Chinese analog converter. What, you mean the thing I just showed you? Could be. Could be. I have this converter thing that you're talking about. Hold on. Just give me a second. I'm gonna find it. Guys, I have OCD. So when you push me onto a hunt for something, I don't stop. I say stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with a brand new edition. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flows like a heartbeat, daily and nightly. Where it'll stop, yo, I don't know. See, now you got me singing. Damn. Damn, yo. Oh my God, if I sold it, I'm going to be pissed. It was right over here on the floor. Oh, I found it. It was below my desk the whole time. Do you mean this? One of these? Should I plug my mic into this? Here, let's try something. Damn it. Where'd I put my mic? Oh, it's right here. Oops. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? That's not what I'm talking about. Damn it! I'll send you some on Facebook. Show us toys. Hey, Andy, love the new banner. Looks great. Thank you, Jay Lee. It's because of you I got it. That's not what you're talking about. Well, you know what? I'm going to try it anyhow. Hold on. Audio.
Check, check, checkity, check, check. I say check, check. How's that sound? Does that sound any better? I'm not sure what that is, but it isn't a computer audio interface. Well, no, it's so I can plug this into my, it's so I can plug it in. Yes, yes, it sounds better. Should I put headphones on? All right, now I'm going to put headphones on, so hold on. You guys. Check, check, check. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, let's lose that. Oops. Nope. Yes. Now, no. No. This doesn't sound good now. So when I'm using, so you can actually hear me through this mic. Why can't I hear myself? Like through these headphones? Hello, hello, hello. Sounds good. Like you're in a sound deadening room. You shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't hear myself? So you're saying this is better. So maybe I'll try this next time I'm on a stream, yo. All right, well, I can put this back down there. All right, so maybe I'll try this next time. More than a feeling, more than a feeling. I can't stop believing, more than a feeling. I have a mic stand, boss. Hold on. Where was it? Oh, it's right here. Dude, I got a mic stand. Boom, baby. Boom. The problem is setting it up. Here's a question. Let's do a test. How do I sound here? Do I sound just as good here? Oh, I don't need these headphones. Don't need headphones. So how about here? Does it still? No. So this is where I need to have this mic right here. Is that what you're telling me? It became super silent, so I have to have the mic right here. Well, that sucks. Good Lord. It's almost like I'm haw, haw, haw. I don't know if I can control the sensitivity. All right, let me set this down. All right, I think I might have to get back to inking. I'll show you guys something new. Do we have any fans of Yellow Jacket in the house? Yellow Jacket, classic Marvel character. Any Yellow Jacket fans? Do we have any Yellow Jacket fans? Actually, you know what? I've got another mic. I'm going to get my other mic, and you tell me which mic sounds better. So hold on. Ant-Man movie villain. Yes, Ant-Man movie villain, but I'm talking about the Yellow Jacket from the comics. I just took care of a nest of Yellow Jackets in my backyard. Oh. All right, let's try this other mic. Does this one sound? Does this one sound better or worse? A or B? A or B? Yellow Jacket. There's the Yellow Jacket. A sounds better? Damn it. Is this A? I forgot. Damn. B is louder? Well, I can't make this louder. You think this one is louder? What about now? How's it sound now? Or do I have to be up close on this one too? Here, let me show you this Yellow Jacket better. Look at that, guys. Yellow Jacket in the house. Close. What about this? penumbra. For the penumbros. That's B, and you don't have to put mic close to your mouth. So how's that? Is that good? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Boom. Hot. Thanks, Star Wars. Make Star Wars great again. Make comics great again. So is this good? Can I hold it right here? Here. How's here? Is here good? Here? Here or there? Yes? Yes, what? Hi ho, hi ho, it's off to work we go. I guess the real question is there that noise? Is there that noise? That's the real question. And yes, I have a microphone stand for this as well. But the big question is there that noise? Robert Romano says sounds good. All right, well, maybe I'll try this later tonight. But guys, do you want to 6-inch is loud too? Are you getting sexual in my chat? No noise. No noise. There's no noise. Yay. So do you want me to slight static fuzz? You guys are killing me. Or are you talking about this fuzz? Are you talking about this fuzz? Echo cancellation. All right, let me do that. I think I already have. I already have that checked. Automatically adjust mic volume. How's that? Is that better? I just clicked automatically adjust mic volume. So how's that sound? Away from mouth, ding dong. Oh, I see. Now we're name calling. So echo cancellation is checked. You may be able to control the sensitivity from your Windows control panel so you don't have to keep it so close to your face. Well, let's find out. Sounds like quiet white noise. Do you mean white snake? Oh, white noise. Turn that off. I hear the air conditioner. Turn what off? I don't have an air conditioner on. All right, hold on. Man, Aaron Lepresti does not have these problems. And the dude doesn't even use headphones. All right, hold on. I'm going to go to my control panel. You guys are making me want to cry. No, you're not. Okay, where's my control panel? I double clicked it. The audio adjust volume. White noise. Is it white noise? It's not white noise. Damn it. Hold on for a second. Hopefully this doesn't screw things up. I got to turn on my Cintiq. Never mind. I didn't. Damn it. Turn that off and then turn it down. Turn what off and turn it down? Oh. Turn the auto adjust off? Okay. Check, check, yo. Check, check. That's how I do my mic check, by the way. I go check, check. Oh, mic volume. Mic volume is 100%. Should it be higher? So now it's good. StreamYard auto adjust. The sound is way better. It's pretty good now. Take it to 50? Really? Take the mic volume to 50, not 100? All right, hold on. How's that? Is that good? Lower. Lower. I have it on 50 now. How's that sound? Man. Let me see. I'm at my control panel. Hardware and sound, I assume I want to go to. Let's see. Microphone devices. Nope. Nope. Adjust volume, change system sounds, manage. Wait, the static, is it being on 100? So how do I sound now? White noise went down. Oh, well. I only hear the low white noise and surround sound, but barely. All right. Should I still be looking at my control center for something? Let's see. Recording. Microphone. Nope. I don't want to use that. Microphone Realtek audio is what I'm using. Let's see. Oh, that's good. Listen, levels. Ooh, advanced. 2 channels, 16-bit. Allow applications to take exclusive control. I think everything you need is in StreamYard. Okay. Levels. Look good. Like I know what I'm looking at. Yeah, the levels look good. Yeah, they look good. Yeah. I am Barack Hussein Obama, and I believe in Obamacare. Is there a gain knob on the mic? Now you're just getting personal. No, there's not. As you can see, I'm looking at the mic. No, but hold on. Nope, there's no gain knob on this thing that the mic's plugged into either. So I guess the real question is, should we do this or should I get back to inking? That's the real question. Because I can do this all day. I can get up, I can rap. Rap-a-dappa-dappa-dappa-dappa-dappa-do. 2 thumbs up. Watching Suicide Squad tonight. No spoilers, please. Yeah, there's a gain knob on that little Jesus, I'm drawing a blank. There's a gain knob on my little mixing board that Val, you told me was crap. Thanks. I'm not really crying. Ethan gets thanked at the end of the movie. I know. I can't wait to see that. All right, guys. Would you like me to get back to inking or should we continue this? I don't care either way. Low. You tell me. I'm here for you guys. Look, I've got 2 hot babes on either side of me and Superman. Right there. Inking, but this is weirdly a fun Saturday morning of tech. Well, I'm glad you think so. All right, well, this is the setup I'm going to try. Invite EVS to the stream. Do you really think he's awake? Here, fine. Here, I will invite EVS to the stream, knowing for a fact that he's not awake. Actually, I don't know that for a fact. I take that back. But I seriously doubt Ethan's awake. Here, hold on. Let's invite him. I'll invite somebody to the stream just to see if they're around to see how my volume sounds. How's that? Oh, Dan Frag is showing a little goodness of his sketchbook stuff. Nice. All right, let me see. Let's see. Hold on. I'm looking. I'll be able to tell you very soon if Mr. Ethan is awake. I'd probably get Graham Nolan on here. He looks like he's awake and around. All right, I gotta do this another way. It's taking way too long. Oop. Yeah, it does not look like he's on right now. But let me see. Let's see if any of the bros are on. The professionals. All right, let's see if we can get some bros in here. Type in with one finger. not how I usually type. I type like a secretary, like a boss. Is he online or Facebook? Nope. Invite anybody. I just did. No inking. Just messing about. All right. I mean, I don't care. I can get back to inking at any time. But if you would like to see what's going on, there it is. Look at the line. Look at that torso, man. I drew. I modeled for this, by the way. Those pecs are my pecs. Pecs of steel. So we'll see if somebody joins or not. If somebody joins, I don't mind just talking to you guys. I love you guys. I love you. There's still white noise, but we can hear you good. Damn it, slacker. You're killing me here. Invite Anna. She's on the West Coast, right? It's like, what time? 10 o'clock there. I doubt that she's on. You see the likeness. Of course you do. Wow, Val, that's personal. I shave it every other day, if you would really like to know. But I trim my balls on a daily basis. What did I just say? That's the type of craziness you will not get on Aaron's channel. Here, I'll see if I can invite somebody else. Screw it. Let's play. Let's play. Let's see. Hold on here. Hold on here. Got to type again. Oh, thank you so much. Isn't that a hassle? My hair is thinning. Nah, I do it in the shower. Vinny Art, what is up with you, bro? Nah, man, I just shaved my head in the shower. Takes no time. Dollar Shave Club. Shoot, 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 shoot. Do my face at the same time. My face. I do my face at the same time. Hold on a second. I'm back. All right, let's see. So I sent the link to a few other people, so we'll see if anybody joins. If not, that's cool. I'm not Mr. Popular. I was picked last for kickball all the time when I was in school. I wasn't. I didn't play kickball. Actually, I did play kickball. Basketball, I sucked at. Sucked at basketball. Good at football. Like, I really think I could have been a quarterback for like 10-year-olds now. I think I could be a great quarterback now for like a 10 to 12-year-old football team. Flag football. I don't need no 10, 12-year-old taking me down. I could get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I'm kind of a puss. Football as in soccer. Oh, Val. I don't consider soccer a sport. Sorry. If you can end a game in a tie, it is not a sport. If you can end a game 0-0, no, I'm sorry. Next thing you're going to tell me is golf is a sport. Don't even try to tell me golf is a sport. Golf is not a sport. And guys, First Man, Volume 2, Learning Curve, link in the description below. Or as you can see it scrolling, did you see the video of the blind football playing kid? Nope. Sounds pretty cool. NFL allowing ties is the worst. What? Did they change a rule? Is NFL going to allow ties this year? You've got to be kidding me. Or are you talking about after overtime where it's like, oh, well, we did overtime. You boneheads tied. I mean, I agree. They should not allow ties. I don't believe college football allows ties. So, yeah, there should be no ties. No ties in football. Damn it. If the NFL... Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I totally blanked Hyper Kaiju. I thought you were talking about Robert. I'm not using a mixing board. Hyper Kaiju, no, I know they let it end in a tie after the one overtime, unless it's the playoffs, because of course, playoffs, don't say playoffs, unless it's the playoffs, then no ties. But yeah, I think it's dumb. They shouldn't allow ties in football. Hey guys, did you want to see a penumbra drawing? Here she is. The lovely penumbra, making your dreams come true. So there you go, lovely penumbra. This fits right into a backboard with the comic, so it's for sale. Just saying. She's bringing sexy back. I never know how to attack. I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah, nobody's around. It's a Saturday afternoon. Who wants to jump on a live stream on a Saturday afternoon? Seriously. Uh, let's see. NM playing some Injustice. Nope. Is she going to be going to the auction tonight? She would be if I join it. I have a date night with the wife. She got tickets for a Van Gogh exhibit in town, the Van Gogh Experience. That's at 8 o'clock. And when I get home, it just depends on what's going down when I get home. So I was on it last night. We'll see if I can join it tonight. What's this? Yeah, like NASCAR is a sport. The NFL's dead to me. Oh, I've never watched a full NASCAR race. I just can't do it. I can't. I love cars. I'm a car guy. I've told you that. I mean, look above my bald head. That's the Mach 1 straight up above my head. Then I've got the Dukes of Hazzard General Lee, the Starsky and Hutch car. I'm a car guy, but I cannot watch. I can't watch NASCAR, man. It's boring. Boring. Okay? Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. So there you have it. Can't do it. Just can't do it. Let's do this just in case. I just sent the link someplace else for you fine ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Just trying to see something. You can tell I'm looking at a screen and not StreamYard. Now I'm going to look back to StreamYard for comments. I'm recovering from kidney stone surgery. Jesus. Yeah, I hope that goes well. I've had kidney stones, but not surgery. If they take a knee on them, I turn it off. Yes, NASCAR blows. I just discovered it last week. It's awesome. What? What'd I miss? What did you discover last week? Tell me, Val. I stayed at the Van Gogh hostel in Amsterdam and went to the museum. Great time. Oh, that's cool. Just joking, bro. I hope you're feeling better. Oh, I get it. I see. Oh my God, that's so funny. So funny. Can't pee, can't poop, can't sleep. Damn it, son. Oh man, past Master Dan. I've had kidney stones 3 times. I've had to go to the hospital all 3 times over the course of 20 years. It blows. A game called PUBG. What is PUBG? Enlighten a brother. What is PUBG? Put a link in the chat here, and I'll click on it to see what PUBG is. Yeah, past Master Dan. I really hope that gets taken care of quick because I can't imagine stones like that for a while. I feel like I should do some Captain America inking since that's the name of this stream, and if people join it, and I want subscriptions to my channel. So guys, I'm going to do a little Captain America inking. If somebody does pop in that I invited, I will pop them up so they can join me. Oh, I might be getting a guest in 1 second. So give me a sec. I don't want to tell you who it is. It is somebody I've never had on my channel before. So let's hope this guest comes through. I just got a message saying they would. Yep. So give it a second here. It's somebody whose work I really admire and enjoy. So let's see what happens. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put headphones on for the guest. Nope, it's not Cecil. One second here. Because I don't need them being picked up on the microphone. Nope, not Cecil. I mean, Cecil's more than welcome to come in. He is in the group that I sent the link to, but, you know, the dude's probably still crashed. I don't know. I don't know much about Cecil. Is it Dale? No, it is not Dale. It is an artist whose work I really admire. I'll just leave it at that. If no mixing and it's a USB mic, try taking control panel down to say 30, then take StreamYard volume up to 100. Oh. It's not a USB mic. It has one of these fat plugs right here, and I have it plugged into a converter, and then the converter is plugged into my computer. There you go. Fragaboom. It is not Fragaboom. I do love Fraga's art. No, it is somebody I don't believe I've ever talked to before. This is fun. Now, if the guy doesn't show up, I'm going to look like an a-hole, but I'm used to looking like a a-hole. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Bringing him in. Mr. How are you?
Not bad. Enjoying this fine morning. Saw that you needed some company. I want to come say, hey, we never get to hang out. So
I know, man. And I'm telling these guys, I had them guessing who it was. I said it's an artist whose work I love, but I don't think I've ever actually talked to in person like this. So.
Yeah, it gets kind of hectic. I'm not the biggest fan of like live streaming. I'm always afraid I'm going to say something I'll regret later. So I try to protect myself a little bit. And also, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, you know, I want to not make it out that I'm always out here. You know, I got to leave a little mystery.
I hear you. Kelsey, talk about saying things that you might regret. I actually did. And by the way, how do I sound? Because this is the whole point. I'm trying out stuff. Good?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Do you hear any weird humming or anything?
I hear something that sounds like it could be an air conditioner or something, but that could be my fan. I don't know. I've always had fan problems in my audio.
All right. Yeah, there's nothing on in here. So
that could be me. It could be me then. But I mean, it also could be your microphone setting because like on this like Yeti, there's like a directional thing, which one picks up all ambient sound. The one I have set it now is directly in front, so it only picks up audio coming right at the front. So it could be a setting you have.
Yeah, there's nothing on this mic though, so let me try something else here.
Just tell everybody to deal with it.
You know, I would do that, but when I'm on Ethan's channel, he's like, "Duh, it's you again," and then he bounces me. He doesn't bounce me out; he just turns my mic off, and I'm like,
okay.
So I might have to invest in a Yeti.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue.
But you were talking about saying stuff that you're like, oh no, did I just say that? Dude, I've got a video up on my YouTube channel when I used to do sketch comedy. It's like 10 years old. And I wrote this sketch that I was in with this other girl that was in a sketch troupe. And I think the name of the sketch was Skin Issues or something like that, because I didn't want to give away the punchline in the title.
Yeah.
But the whole gist of the sketch is the girl that I'm in it with, she's a black girl, and she's playing a dermatologist. Dermatologist is skin stuff, right?
I see your problem. You're white. No,
no. But dude, seriously, the whole sketch starts where I sit down and she's like, Mr. Johnson, Jones, whatever I said my name was, why are you here to see me? And I said, well, I'm having skin issues. And she looks me up and down and she goes, I mean, you look fine. And I go, well, it's not like that. It's more about the tone. And she goes, tone? And I'm like, and I'm paraphrasing. This is 10
Yeah.
years old, so I might have it wrong. And she goes, what do you mean? And I go, well, like my complexion. And she goes, oh, I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. And I said, well, I'm just too pale. And she goes, well, go to a tanning salon. And I said, no, you don't get it. And I stand up and I yell, I want to be black. And she's like, excuse me? And I go, black, I want to be a brother. I want to be the N word. And that's what I said.
Oh,
I said
shit.
the N word, right?
Oh,
And
did you
she
actually
goes,
say the word?
No. I said, I want to
okay.
be the N word. And she goes, what? And she goes, yeah, because once I'm black, then I don't have to say the N word. I can actually say it because I'll be black. And she goes, oh my, and she's just, she's doing a great job. And as the doctor, and she's like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave. And I go, no, trust me. I can do it. I've studied up on all the great blacks in history. I know the catchphrases. Like, here, watch. Let me prove it to you. I had a dream. What you talking about, Willis? And then, comedy's the rule of threes. I always forget the third one that I said because it's been 10 years. But trust me, it gets worse. I think it's a Michael Jackson one because it's.
And I want to play basketball better. Oh shit.
Oh no, I actually did. Well, then I said, look, trust me, I always go down to the local court once a week and get into a pickup game. Look at this vertical leap. And I do this little jump that gets me like 2 inches off the ground. And she's like, that's it. I'm going to call security. And I'm like, no, don't call security. Trust me. And she's like, nope, I'm calling security. And then I go, I know what it is. You don't want to make me black because you're a racist. You want to keep all the black stuff to yourself, all the cool stuff that you can do. That's not cool. And it just goes on for like 5 more minutes.
You were ahead of your time. Yeah.
It was 2010 when I did it. And it was for a sketch comedy troupe. We performed it in front of a live audience. And it went over great. So I put it up on YouTube.
That reminds me, kind of paraphrasing from Office Space, but you don't need to be black you don't need to have the skin color to play like a black guy. So you just get the the affectations, the hats, the jewelry, and but I guess I don't know.
Hey man, if Eddie Murphy, I know because we're about the same age. I know you had to have seen Eddie Murphy's Raw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, if Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle and these guys can come out and do their, well, I'd like to order some fruitcake. Their typical.
I love black guys, white guy impressions. Actually, exactly. I get a kick out of that.
Look, here's a good buddy of mine I've known for 30 years. Billy Ray Merriman goes by Ray Dog. He's the guy that nicknamed me Smitty D.
Yeah, Smitty D.
That's my nickname he gave me from back in the day when we shared a studio together. He is a black man, and he knows that I throw down all the fun stuff. So
I got a hip hop name too. It's the Grizz.
Well, there you go.
That was given to me as well. I was at a convention hanging out with Stelfreeze, name drop.
There you go.
And all these black guys come up to me, and they come up to Stelfreeze, and they're like, Stelfreeze, oh, whatever. And then they see my nameplate, and they're like, Kelsey, I thought you were black. And I'm like, why? And they were like, I don't know, just the way you draw or whatever. I'm like, okay. And so I ended up hanging up with them for a while, and then they were like, we'll call you the Grizz. I'm like, all right, sounds cool.
So they came up to you and go, we thought you were black because of the way you draw. I wonder if people go up to David Williams and go, what?
Yeah, I
thought you were white because your name's David Williams.
Well, I tell you what, I did have this conversation with Stelfreeze at one point, and he thought I was nuts, but I was like, it seems like when you look at, like, for instance, women colorists, you can tell that, and I think it's scientifically been shown that women do have the ability to see more color than men. And but you can kind of see that there's like a nuance and stuff. Like, I'm very aggressive with color, man. I put on like a lot of primary and stuff like that. I'm learning how to do more subtlety, but like I think they have a grasp of that. So I had this theory that like all the black artists that I loved all had a sense of like design. to their stuff. You know, Stelfreeze, Larry Stroman, even Dennis Cowan to a certain degree. He had like a lot of rendering and stuff, but there was a design quality to it that you know, other people lacked. So I had this idea, and of course he brought out all kinds of other guys. Well, what about this guy? What about that? I'm like, okay, you just blew my theory out the water. So never mind. I'm just interested in people who have a design quality into their stuff, I guess.
But I mean, you could say, you remember there was always that thing going around here. Val, this cracks me up. I have an answer. He goes, how do black people draw? Like Brian Stelfreeze, Val.
No, honestly, like I said, my theory got blown out of the water because I was shown a lot of other examples and I was like, all right, you know.
Yeah, but here's the better one, because I've never heard that before. But I mean, there is that theory, I guess you could say, of you can pick out, looking through comics, female artists compared to male artists.
Yeah, but again, that's being blown out of the water too because of like Sarah Pacelli. I don't think she draws like a woman.
You're right.
Actually, I was working on Jimmy Neutron at the time in Dallas, and we had all these ex-Disney guys come in, and this one guy, I was talking about this very subject. You know, I was like, I don't know. I came up in the art room, and we were just talking about women artists and stuff, and he was like, "You want to see a woman that can draw like a man?" And I'm like, what does that even mean? Yeah, show me, you know. And he showed me Claire Windling, and
oh my god, yeah,
at the time, she's gone into a very feminine kind of path recently in her art. She draws a lot of like beautiful frilly things, little girls and furry animals and things like that. So she's doing something different. She's in like a new phase. But at the time, her stuff was very, I don't know if the word masculine is correct, but more masculine than you would expect for a woman. And she is just amazing. One of my all-time favorites.
Here's a good one that I never really thought. Marie Severin. I mean, back in the day, the stuff she was doing, you know, you wouldn't even look at the credits. You just think, you know, who drew this? This is awesome. You know, what guy drew this? Maybe.
Yeah.
But, and you know, she picked up a few issues of Submariner after Buscema left, and one of the first ones she did, Joe Sinnott inked. And now you could tell she was looking at some of John's work in the faces and stuff, because, you know, John was on the book. He started the book. So maybe she felt like, let's try and keep it going, or maybe she was mandated it. Who knows? But it's fantastic. But yeah, Sarah Pacelli, no clue. I'd have no clue, because her work is just great.
Yeah,
there's definitely some that you look at. You know, Marguerite Savage, if I said her name.
Oh right. Yeah. I always say Sauvage because she's French, though, right? Or French Canadian.
Laura Braga's work, I think you'd look at and be like, you know, if you were asked who drew this, a guy or a girl, you'd go, oh, that's a girl.
But I like that stuff. I have a wide,
so do I.
I have a wide variety of interests in art. I look all over the world for new ideas and stuff. I love, and I don't really distinguish between male and female. It's literally, you know what, to name drop again, what Ashley Wood told me one time when I was asking him, like, why do you like my stuff? And he's like, hey, I like what I like, you know? And I'm like, that makes sense. You know, I like what I like.
Totally. I pick up tons of stuff. You know, one of the things, when I go to San Diego, the booth I always hit, well, there were two I always hit, and then one left. One was Bud Plant, and that's when they took up tons of space. And then I remember going a year after, and they weren't even there. Oh, they were down to half. And then the year after that, they were down to a corner in the back, and now they don't set up. But the other one I always hit is Stuart Yang.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, he just has such a collection of foreign books and that you just don't see over here. And I just always drop a ton of cash because it's like, oh, my God, this art's fantastic. I can't read them, but who cares? You know,
well, you can visually, I mean, in a lot of cases. So you are able to like read it, but you're not getting that like sweet nuance that I always like to think that. I mean, who knows if that stuff is actually terrible? I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm making up my own kind of like story, so it's brilliant.
Well, and like you said, that's actually a really good point, though, is you can, you know, it's one of the things I tell people that want to break into comics is you should be able to tell a story. I should be able to follow the story without dialogue. You know, the dialogue is details, incidental stuff, whatever, but realistically, I should be able to go from point A to point B, and oh, this is a murder. Oh, this is who did it, or whatever.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know.
I
Um,
see Omar Comics says, I'm pretty sure I draw like a Mexican. I
yeah, well,
actually have quite a few Mexican artists that I really like. And there's a whole series. Gosh, man, I'm blanking on names, but it was called Cazador, or no. El, I don't know. You might have to tell me, but there was like a long list of artists that worked on this book, El Cazador, I think, that ended up here in the States doing a lot of our stuff.
oh,
And they're
really?
all fantastic. They're very influenced by Beasley, this little group of artists, And
Oh,
so they,
yeah.
if you want more Beasley, like there's a ton of it in this. I hope somebody knows in the chat. I think it's El
Hopefully,
Cazador. Yeah,
I
I
don't
could be
remember.
thinking wrong.
Ray Dog, my friend Billy Ray says some fans thought I was a white guy because I drew damage. Billy Ray, I still think you're a white guy. I still do, Billy Ray. I think it's a disguise. Also, and I know Billy Ray worked for Bill Black, a mutual friend of ours that does AC Comics. He's like, somebody asked if he was Bill Black. He said, "No, I'm Black Bill." I love Billy Ray. He has such a great sense of humor.
That's fun.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, this is like such a non-topic to me that's become such a hotbed issue. So, to me, it's like a manga and anime fans today going, "Oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. We just discovered it. It's new." And I'm like, man, I've been looking at this stuff since the 80s.
oh yeah.
Calm down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorites, and once again, I can't read it. I got it back in the early '90s when I was living in Orlando. Is a manga book called Bastard,
Yeah.
and I love the guy's artwork. And I think I've got probably 15 volumes of it, but they're all
Mm.
straight from Japan. I can't read them,
Oh yeah.
but
I don't
the
know if that's
artwork,
ever been translated, has it?
it has, yeah.
It has? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been around so long that the stuff that I saw, and now I haven't looked in years,
It's totally different.
but the stuff
Yeah.
I saw that was translated was some of the early stuff. So
Mhm.
the art wasn't the same as what he progressed to in the volumes I have.
I heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard he's one of those crazy people that he got the art bug, like, seriously. And, like, Japanese guys are more about the story, getting that
Mhm.
story out as many pages as possible, usually like 5 a day, but he somehow you got it into him that he's capable of doing more, and it's like taking longer. And he's actually is starting to go back and redo all the old volumes in his newer, more polished style. I don't know if he's still doing that or if that was a rumor. Maybe his
Wow.
chat knows again. I always lean on chat.
Yeah, I know. No, so do I.
But I don't know. That's his stuff. His stuff in the later volumes is like that level of polish where you look at it and you're like, I have no idea how this is being done.
I know. I still look at some of the stuff those guys do, and I'm just like, I have no idea. And now, and there are some actually pretty good books. I don't know where it is, but I got a book aptly titled called How to Draw Kung Fu Comics. It came out back in 2001, but it was done by, and I'm blanking on the name and everything. I'm awful at this, but it was done by a popular manga artist, not an American guy trying to do it. And I mean, and it's in English, but the techniques that are in it, like there's a chapter on just special effects, speed lines and stuff like that. And there's, explosions and whatnot. Of course, an anatomy chapter on like the cross hatching rendering that they're kind of more known for when it comes to the figure work. It's a great book.
I don't know if I'm going off the point here, but that brings up an interesting thing about manga. Like, since it's such a big deal right now, I haven't heard this in a while, but for years and years, when people were like, "What makes manga?" And American artists, we had who am I thinking of? Adam Warren.
Oh, Adam Warren.
You
Yeah.
know, Adam Warren was holding down that style for years and years, and I think he had pat answers. I know he knows that there's more than this, but like when asked what is manga, people are like big eyes, speed lines, you know, all the affectation on top. But it's like no, manga is like pacing. You know,
Yeah, I was going to say it's a storytelling style.
yeah, it's not the, and I like when people don't look at my stuff and see manga, but it is probably a good 80% influenced by manga, but mostly from the storytelling, from the emotional content, from the, you
Right.
know, that, you know, that kind of thing. It's an intangible thing. So I think that's why they come up with these pat answers like speed lines, you know, and things like
Yeah.
that. But it's so much deeper when you get into it, man.
Oh,
Very
totally.
good
When you
character
look
stuff.
at it and break it down, like you said, it's a storytelling thing. I mean, I think there
Mhm.
definitely is a Western storytelling compared to, manga.
Mhm.
And you're right. When you don't know, like, when I first was learning of it back when I got into comics, it's just the surface stuff, because that's
Mhm.
the thing is you can go to the Barnes and Noble and look at their section and just pick up 20 different books by 20 different creators and flip through them, and you'll see a divergence in style. But to maybe an untrained eye, they'll be like, well, it all looks the same. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
You got to read it. You
And,
got to get deep into that stuff.
but there is something to it though, when you think about it, as in, do you think they look at American comics and say, well, if you take 20 American comics, American artists, and throw them down, that they would look at those and go, oh, yeah, this all looks the same? Because I don't know.
Possibly, it kind of does to me at the moment. But I
Yeah,
remember,
definitely certain areas. Yeah.
well, again, going to Stelfreeze, he's my senpai. So like I learned a lot from Stelfreeze, but he took a trip to Japan, and he asked they went to a studio for somebody they knew, and you know they have all the helpers, people doing backgrounds, and some guy ruling out all those speed lines, you know. And he asked one of them, he's like, he saw some of that person's own artwork, and it was great. He's like, this is brilliant. He's like, why don't you go do your own book? And he's like, oh, no, I'm not ready yet. You know. And he's like, well, what do you think of American art? And he's like, oh, it should be in museums, you know. So I don't know if that's just his take or if that is a common take for Japanese artists about American art. But it made me think that maybe we're overthinking it a little. You know, like maybe you know we're too focused on the original art sale, you know, and not about really telling the story, you know, that kind of thing. And then, you know, little by little this stuff gets degraded down until, you know, there's a picture that's looks like it was rushed out, and there's like a giant wall of dialogue that you have to read in order to understand what's happening in the story. You know, whereas they still focus on visual, you know, more than anything, you know. And I think that's the biggest secret to manga success, is that even if it's not in English, you understand, you can like follow, you know, what's happening visually. So yeah,
I wonder how many manga artists now are just, obviously not the older guys, like our age and stuff, but the newer ones are doing all their art digitally.
I know of some art. Yeah, there's quite a few. I watched this show. I can't remember his name. Urasawa. He does 20th Century Boys, or he used to. He's on other things. Very famous mangaka. He's really great. One of my faves. But he's been doing this show where he's going and interviewing all these other great manga artists, and he's they set up cameras, film them for like a couple days, and then they get together and have a discussion about what they're doing. And it's amazing how many of them, old school and kind of newish, are still doing things the old way. They still draw on paper. But they're utilizing like scanners and all this other stuff. But then you see, he'll interview some like new guys, and you'll see, they're just taking advantage of every technique in the book, where they're like taking photos of like close-ups of mechanical stuff on motorcycles and then like flipping it upside down in the computer and making some cool thing out of it, you know, doing it all digitally, inking. And of course, inking digitally now is becoming more of a norm in Japan because of like Manga Studio and things like that. You can do those speed lines and zips
Oh yeah,
and
that's
all
what I'm
that's
talking
so
about.
easy. Yeah.
Because I know, you know, I do hybrid, like, so
Mhm.
I draw like right in front of me. Here is my big Cintiq,
Mm.
you know, and I draw everything on it, but then I print it all out light blue on Bristol and ink it. But then, for instance, if there are burst lines or speed lines or something like that, forget it. I'll scan it in and take it into Clip Studio and do it that way because it's so much easier.
Do you find that you're losing time in between those steps? Like, okay, now I got to like scan this back in, you know, and get it, you know, organized into proper layout. And then so I can do the lines, the speed lines, or like, do you do it in like these definitive stages where I'm going to do everything that you can do live?
Yeah, it's
And then,
definitive.
okay. Yeah.
It's literally, I draw it. See, the funny thing is I don't use Clip Studio to do the penciling because I just don't like the way the pencil feels in Clip
Yeah.
Studio. I use Sketchbook Pro.
Oh, I've
And
been hearing a lot about this lately. Okay.
Sketchbook Pro is free.
Hmm.
And it used to be like just $100 a year. Then they went to free, which cracked me up because I'm like, huh, that's interesting. You decided to do that 5 months after I paid for it. Am I getting a refund? Which I did not, but whatever.
Yeah.
But no, Sketchbook Pro is really, to me, it's real intuitive. The pencil looks and feels like a pencil when you draw.
Yeah.
The layers are just so easy to just pop a new layer, drop the opacity. The perspective tool, unlike Procreate on an iPad, which will lay out the grid, the perspective tool in Sketchbook,
Oh, I
you can
love
do
that.
1,
Yeah.
2, and 3 point. And then you still have to draw the lines, but you can
Right.
set up the points wherever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I pencil it there. Then I do have to take it into Photoshop to convert it to blue and then print it onto the Bristol. But then I do all the inking that's going to be done traditionally. And then I have to scan it anyhow for, you know, the color. So I scan it, and then any touch-ups and stuff or special effects, I'll just do in Clip Studio and then save it off and shoot it to the color. So it's all,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
this.
But you said earlier, I caught a little bit of you saying you had OCD, so that makes a lot of sense. I happen to be pure chaos, so like I know that I have to have kind of a simpler kind of thing. Like I either do it all in Photoshop or all in Clip Studio or all on paper, because like I'll get to a certain point and go, oh man, if I want to do this over here, so I'll have to go back, and then I'm constantly reevaluating the image, so I have to have like a more fluid kind of like model.
See, that's like, I remember talking to Bill Sienkiewicz one time. He inked me on a job, and he was like, I guess he's just has his brush, his pens, all the crap, you know. And I've seen his studio, but when he's inking, and he'll just be like, I'm using this now. Now I want to use this. Whereas I'm, once again, really regimented, where it's like, I'm gonna do all the brush work, I'm gonna do all the pen work, I'm gonna do all the, you know, whatever comes after that.
That's the best way to do it. It really is.
What's that?
It's the best way to do it. Go ahead, finish your thought. I want to add to that too, though.
No, I was just going to say, like, this whole stream started off with me inking a Captain America piece that I'm going to take to MegaCon. So I had my other camera set up so they could see it. And when I ink, I do the outline of the figure first.
Yeah.
And then after I outline it, I do the interior stuff, all the brush work. And then after all the brush work is done, I'll do whatever pen work there is. And then once the pen work's done, I'll, you know, do the whiteout. And then I'll move on to, okay, now it's time to do the background and, you know, do that. And same when it comes to inking. Well, even penciling a page. When I'm penciling a page, I start, you know, top left and go to the bottom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know,
that's interesting.
Well, I'll lay out the whole page, you know, thumbnail. I'll thumbnail it. And then from the thumbnail, I'll do the layout for the whole page. But once I'm ready to do tighter penciling, I go top to bottom.
I think I heard Jeff Matsuda did that too, and I think I've also heard that Travis does something kind of like that. Travis Charest, where he'll like he doesn't erase. I think this is probably a bit of a urban legend,
I've heard this about
but-
Travis too, where like there's not even any like underdrawing. He just
Right.
starts, and I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah,
There's
I don't know. It's Travis, so I'm liable to believe it, but you know.
But see, I've heard that about Keith Giffen, and I inked
Oh.
Keith Giffen on like 3 issues of Spider-Man back in the 90s. And if you look at Keith's work, you can believe that he literally just starts penciling with nothing
Yeah.
else. You know.
Yeah, he's got those. If you've worked off of his scripts with those layouts that he does, like those are brilliant. Like I would just like love to work with Keith on like all, because he does these great little layouts and then he doesn't hassle you if you make changes. But it's like, it's so great because you can like see it and go, oh, you know, I don't have to think about
anything.
You know, it's like it's so loose, but you get it immediately.
Well, and like you said, because I've worked with him, and he tells you, he's like, please change it. I don't want you to keep these 6-panel grids. He's like, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
but the fun thing with his stuff is you can take a 6-panel grid and change it into any 6-panel layout you want, but basically you can keep the compositions he did in those square panels in any shape panel you do, and it still works. You know,
what I was
love
gonna
this stuff.
I was gonna mention. Oh man, I forgot where I was going. Never mind. I love his stuff too. We can keep talking about Keith.
Well, so I inked him on 3 issues, right? And I got to tell you, when I was done, I was like, because you know how it is, your page rate doesn't change. You could ink.
No.
Not that I ever have, and not that he has anybody else ink his work, but let's say Brian Boland is like, I need an inker, you know, you'd get the same inking rate for him that you would get over Keith Giffen. And Brian Boland would take, you know, a day and a half to ink a page, whereas Keith, I was inking a page of his stuff in 2 hours.
Yeah. And it oftentimes it would look better that way, you know, having that speed and that spontaneity. That's actually what I was going to mention, because you were talking about your inking. You do the outline and the stages. This is something that I'm trying to get to, because I used to just I'll pencil 3 or 2.5 pages, and then I'm just so excited to see what it looks like inked. I'll start inking it, and then I'll start getting so excited that I want to see it colored, and then I'll color it. And then I got like 1 page fully colored, a half page colored, 2 pages fully inked, 1 half page inked. You know, and then like a week has gone by. I'm like, I should have done 5 pages, you know, but yes, I'm ahead on the coloring stage, but you know, and it does mess with you. So I've gotten to the point now where I'm doing all the stages, just go straight through and do all the layouts. Then you can kind of see it in its whole piece and see how it works all together. And you're like, okay, I'm going to adjust here, because trying to adjust later the way I used to do it, you're having to do a lot of redrawing and a lot of recoloring and stuff like that. So it's definitely, you know, needed to do it all kind of at one go. And then the same thing with inking. Like I started doing that very same thing. I would, back in the day, I would do all the little details, you know, I'd start at the face and, you know, just work my, you know, and then it's finished as you go. And then, but now I love doing it where you just take one size pen, you know, preferably if it has some give and take. So you do have a little thicks and thins kind of going on, but you just go through. I just do the whole piece in one go and like 1 pen. And then you can kind of see where to place your blacks. You're like, okay, I'm gonna add, and then going through with the bigger pen or a brush and just.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like and not, you know, that's kind of like Joe Kubert's mentality, because he would take basically a dead weight type pen. At least this is what he showed us in school. He would take a dead weight type pen and basically outline everything, and then he would go in with his brush to really hit the real heavy feathering in blacks. And then he'd go in with the pen to do lighter rendering, but it was always basically outline everything first and then go in. And, you know, if you've ever seen his pencils, his penciling as tight as Joe did and like John Buscema, those are the guys I like to ink.
Oh yeah.
Because there's stuff there to do, you know? When man, I'm losing track of stuff.
I'm reading the chat. It's hilarious.
I know. I'm looking at
lip
like
reading.
Andy is talking about cleaning the bathroom. What?
He's lip reading. He's listening to music and watching this. So
Got
That's
it.
why I was like, he's gonna have a hard time with me.
Yeah, right. So, but the funny thing is, so when I pencil and ink my own stuff, so like First Man, I still am so regimented that I do pencil and inks on a page, then move on to the next page, pencil and inks. I don't lay out the whole thing. I've never done that, even on a penciling job where it's here pencil whatever for Marvel or DC. I would just do one page at a time.
Yeah.
So
do you still do that, or do you?
yeah.
Wow.
But I
Well,
don't pencil like I won't pencil all First Man. I'll do pencil and inks on page 1. It's done. Move on to page 2. Pencil and inks. Move
But
on to
how do
page
you
3.
how do you combat bad writing? Because like I'll get to a point in the script, having done that method, I'll get to this point where suddenly the writer decides, like if I have an archer, suddenly 15 pages in, they have no arrows, so he has to do this, and I'm like, I could have heard about this earlier, thank you. So been drawing a quiver full of arrows for 15 pages, and then you
Oh
tell
no,
me he doesn't have
I
arrows.
mean, I guess the
You just read real thoroughly first, get
that's what I
everything.
was going to say. Yeah, I read the script like 2 or 3 times before I start to draw it. I'll read it once, just kind of, I guess you say quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to get bogged down. And then after I read it once, I'll give it, it's not like, all right, let's read it again. I'll give it, if I have the time. If I have the time, I'll read it at night, for instance. Then the next morning, I'll read it again. And on that pass, I'll look for the stuff like you're talking about, like, oh, look, a gun shows up on page 12 and he's wearing a t-shirt throughout the whole book. Where's he holding the gun?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll read through it again for that. And during that pass, I'll also make notes of whatever reference I need to find for each page. So
it's so interesting the methods that none of these are wrong or right ways to do it. It's just how you organize information in your head. Like I do the same thing. I read the script for the emotion first. Like I just read through it and kind of get the this is a good scene. Oh, this is going to be good. And then I just go straight into layouts at that point, and I start breaking down the page. And then you kind of, this is why when people are like, like how long is this or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll see when we start to break it down, because like sometimes I want to like push a scene a little further, which means I'll have less space here, so I have to figure out a way to like truncate the space over here, make it more impactful. It's this give and take, this like flow I got to do. But I wish, and I've read a lot of stuff about guys that do that. They'll take notes on the script and they'll do it all that, but my brain can't keep all that in my head. So like I get, I go from one thing to the next really fast. So I just kind of have to focus on like whatever's in front of me at any given time. So that's how I end up in those traps. But this is why, for my particular way my brain is structured, kind of laying it all out or having Keith Giffen's layouts, it's like suddenly I don't have to keep a lot of that stuff in my head. It's like it's all there. That's what's so great about it. I've worked with a lot of great writers, but I've worked with a couple of old school writers, Keith Giffen, who's also a great artist, and D.G. Chichester. These are guys that they know the structure so well that, like, I was working on the Chichester one. Is that how you say his name? Chichester?
I think so.
I guess I don't. Well, I was like amazed because I was reading the script and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I start laying it out and it's freaking perfect. And I'm like, holy cow, this guy knows what he's doing.
You've worked plot style before, right? Marvel method.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what this was. He was doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's different than Keith was doing. He had like a full script and layouts, but
yeah. Well, I was just asking because when I first got in the business, when I worked, I broke into DC, but that was full script. But then when I went to Marvel, I worked with Mark Grunwald, and he was plot. It took a while to get used to, even though I worked kind of that way in the Kubert school in some assignments, so I was used to it. But it was so cool just getting like a 20-page book or a 22-page book on like 5 sheets of typing paper. Because the little paragraph, page 1 paragraph, page 2 little paragraph, you know.
But he knows what you can accomplish in a page, right? He's real practiced. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
then I
so
worked 10 years ago or so, I got to do 2 issues of X-Men Forever with Claremont, and he's plot as well. So
I have this kind of philosophy about pages. So like I tend to I like full scripts when a writer knows what they're doing, and because I can focus more on like how the characters are emoting and like drawing. I don't have to waste any brain energy on like how the layout goes. But sometimes writers will get bogged down with how much there's like so much going on in a page, and I'm like, this is actually very like simple. You know, you can break this down where you really should only try to accomplish visually, you know, a handful of things, you know, 1 or 2 kind of ideas that you're getting across, and then in the script, in the actual dialogue, there's like this other level of storytelling that isn't repeating what you're seeing visually. It's giving you all the things you can't see. So that's like a whole other level of information that you're given. And then you have possibly captions, which are giving you this whole other level of storytelling that is omniscient. You know, it's usually a narrator. It's something that none of the characters are aware of. You can like set up things and, you know, but yeah, so when you get writers that want to accomplish too much, especially in one panel where they're like, panel 1, stadium scene, crowd roars as alien spacecraft lands in the middle of I'm like, this is one panel in 6. How am I going to do this? You know?
Well, what cracks me up too is when, because this is where I thought you were going with it. It's like, I love it when a writer will write a long shot. Like you read it in their first sentence, you can tell, oh, that's a long shot. But then they say, and we key in on, and at that point, they're going to a close up, and you're like, what are you doing? That's 2 panels, you dumbass.
My favorite is woman upset, walks through the door and slams it behind her. 1 panel.
Right. And you're like, oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
That's just a shot of a door. You know, like
right.
Or she's walking through it, but you don't get the slam until the next panel.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I hate stuff like that so much. The reason I do like full script though is because and you know, Grunwald did this good, and so did Claremont. I like full script though because you do get to see, you know, the dialogue, so you can plan,
make room for
how much space it's going to take up. You can plan the composition appropriately for, you know, how much room to leave. But Grunwald and Claremont, at least in their plots, gave you enough indication of like, oh, Cyclops is bitching out Jean Grey. So you're like, okay, I know he's going to be angry because he's bitching her out. And I'll leave it up to him to how much, but I'll still leave a, you know, decent amount of room and whatnot for him because, you know, if you've worked with Chris can be kind of wordy. So you're like, okay, you know.
Well, he goes back in too and like adds more stuff. Oh, there's a space here. I can add a balloon, right? Like he.
Well, yeah. Well, that's just it because it's a plot. So he gets all the pencils back so he can dialogue it.
That's so wild.
But I mean, a lot of full scripters. I know some writers that do full script that do like to get the pages back so they can tweak anything, even though it's full script. But I know writers that are like, oh, I just wrote a full script. Oh, I'm done. You don't have to send me the pencils back. It's good. Whatever. Send it to the letterer. It's like
that's equally annoying. I've gotten to be a lot more fluid just because of those kinds of things that you know it's an endless the list of things that can be really hard to deal with. But like I hate when I get like a full script and I'll plan it out like perfectly. I'm like, oh, the balloons it's just singing. And then I'll get a note back from the writers like, oh yeah, I'm changing this bit of dialogue here and that makes the balloon bigger. And I'm like, you know, like please don't do that. It's working perfectly right now. Don't change anything. Oh, I just didn't like this line, you know.
Well, I was going over a job I did on my stream this past week, and you know, a friend of mine wrote it, and I kind of pride myself on leaving just the right amount of room for word balloons compositionally and stuff. And the letter I was working with, this guy I went to the Kubert school with named Steve Dutro. And Steve, you know, he's been doing it for 30 years. And it's nice seeing the pages come back from Steve, because I don't like do balloon placement or anything, because I'm like, Steve's been doing this long enough. We've worked together on quite a few jobs now. I'm willing to bet he just nails it. And there might be one or two places out of, say, 10 pages where I'm like, move this balloon. Other than that, it's like he just read my mind, because he knows it's like, well, yeah, look at where the empty space is and whatnot, and the balloons, and this is where they should go. And he flows it nicely and everything.
The same with letterers as well. Like I've been doing work with our Eric Weathers a lot in the last several years, and he just has that instinct where I don't even have to, like, I make lettering guides, but I don't give it to him. I don't give it to anybody, because I don't want to hamstring his creativity.
Yeah, you want to see what they do.
Yeah. And my God, he just knows exactly where to put it. And I'm like, this is exactly what I was thinking, good job.
It's the same with like a colorist as well, because like once I get comfortable with a colorist, I don't do notes or anything. I'll have the notes in my head for like, well, this is what I want. Let's see what they do.
Yeah.
And if it comes back and it's totally off the wall, then it's like, time to send them notes. But if it comes back and like it's their vision as well, then it might not mirror up exactly, and it shouldn't.
But if it works,
it works, then that's what matters. I did a job. Oh man, I remember I did this one issue of Green Lantern, and there's this nice big shot on the page. I did a Green Lantern. His fist was coming right at you because he was doing his power ring stuff off panel. And I drew a nice torso on Green Lantern from like waist up and whatnot. I totally left room where I think the balloon should have gone, because I know he was talking a lot. It was a full script. Book comes out in print. Big chunky word balloon right over his chest. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I literally left all this room on the left-hand side above his fist. What are you doing? The green energy at the top of his fist, nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's where the balloon should have went. And the tail should have went to his face. I'm like, what the dog? And all I could think of is, as much as I like traditional lettering on the boards, I'm so glad this was digital lettering.
Yeah, that is something to be said for that. But like, I'm kind of like, I'm half and half when it comes to a lot of this stuff too, because like, I used to be very obsessive over it in my youth, and I've gotten to the point now where, through my studying and my, where I've gone is now, I look back at like the old days and I'm like, I think we're like overthinking it, like the stuff that we love, the stuff that has stood the test of time was all done in a crunch on and it was like, zoom in on this cover, and never mind John Buscema masterpiece, just zoom in on it, make a copy, zoom in, change this, move this, boom. But we all look at it like brilliance. We didn't know the backstory of this stuff. And like, same thing with one of my favorite runs of all time is the Larry Hama Silvestri, Dan Green run on Wolverine.
Oh my God. Dan's inks on that stuff.
Brilliant.
I mean, Silvestri was fantastic, but Dan's inks on that stuff.
I love it.
I can
so
look
much
at that
life
stuff all day.
Yeah. And it was done, I think they were doing at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were doing 2 books a month at one point. Because it was saying ships. I think there was like a sign on one of the covers. It was like ships now twice a month.
I think that was X-Men.
It might have been both. I mean, I think they went through a phase where, because there was definitely a noticeable decline in the quality as it went on. I think it got to be a strain, but I was thinking maybe they were alternating.
Well, I want to say when it was on X-Men, Leonardi was the bounce artist. So like Sylvester would do the couple or do what he could, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, bring Rick in to pinch hit. But
well, and then we got into computer coloring, and then that escalated dramatically, the quality of art, but it also slowed us way down. Mm-hmm. And little by little, we're chipping away at the fan base's attention span, to where like a lateness, it's just taking too long. Sure, I love all this fantastic art, but it's just taking way too long, and they move on to something else. And it's like I've been on this like mission to get people to like calm down. It's like, look at all the stuff. We're analyzing how they're doing it, and we're spending a lot of time trying to recreate this effect, when in reality they're operating from pure instinct. You know, they had no option to like obsess over the line. It was just you know, done, move on.
Herb Trimp was telling me at a convention when he was doing the Hulk, he was banging like 3 to 4 a day.
Yeah.
And now granted, you look at creators, not like a John Buscema. I mean, John's work, I just look at and I'm like, oh my God, it's so masterful. Kirby was definitely, or not Kirby, but Trimpy was more stylized. You could see some Kirby influence in his work with hands and faces and stuff like that. But I still think 3 to 4 pages a day. I don't think I could do what Trimpy was doing quality wise 3 to 4 a day now.
But this is where the McFarlane influence should come in, because he developed a way of like not cutting corners, but maximizing your time and also maximizing the effect that the image has. So he's not afraid to show a close-up of a hand turning a knob. You know, he had this thing where, you know, like your Herb Trimpe's, I'm not that familiar with his work, but you know, the old school, every panel is like a full scene, you know, in a lot of ways. So he came up with methods that not only made it more visually interesting, you know, because there's not a lot of the same that you're looking on a page. Everything is very different sizes, different angles, and that made it visually interesting and faster to do. I don't have to draw a whole room full of people. Oh, exactly. You know, I can draw like a really close-up figure and then like some little silhouettes in the background. You know, you're selling the feel of it. You know,
well, that's totally accurate. I mean, to me, that's what Kubert was all about. Because if you look at stuff, if I love Joe's stuff, if you look at a 2-page spread of, I think it was an issue of DC Showcase with that character Firehair, right? And there's this 2-page spread, and it's like, I'm just going to describe it, and then you'll get a visual image. Of course, I'll get one, and then you see what Joe did, and you're like, holy crap, that probably took him pencil and inks a day for both pages, right? And basically it's Firehair on his horse, the horse is standing on some type of rock outcropping, so you know it's in the foreground, overlooking down onto a field or whatever it is, a bunch of other dudes, you know, Indians or whatever, on horses with, you know, their weapons and whatnot. And you just hear that alone and you're like, oh my God. So there's a guy on a horse in the foreground. In the background, there's a bunch of other dudes on horses. And you see the way Joe drew it. And Firehair is, of course, huge in the foreground, almost taking up half the spread on his horse. And then the other half of the spread, they're so far in the distance. It's the little clothespin people atop these little indications of horses. And then he did such a great job with the scenery and stuff that it just sells you.
Sells the drama of it. It sells it. I mean, it's so much more. That's the thing, is like all of these little pieces come together to make the whole. And I think that we, as like one or the other, penciler or inker, we're really worried about overly worried about our artistic voice in this process, and instead of worrying about how the overall piece plays out, you know. And I think that's where we're, you know, not to be a downer, but we're kind of in the sort of dark ages of comics, and it may get deeper, but I love this. Don't look at this as a downfall, because like, what is some of the best stuff ever done was done in a crunch. It was done with lots of limitations. You look at like the Kirby, what's his name? Kirby Simon days. Am I thinking of the right guy? Who was his partner?
Joe Simon.
Yeah, where they were just cranking out ideas, man, left and right. Who buy this? You want to do this? Let's see. Well, the fans love this. Okay, we're going to focus more on that. I think that's where we're headed, and that's where we need to. We need to be like reassessing, you know, our values in this business, and maybe, you know, just focusing on telling good stories and getting the work out there fast. You know, this is why I mean, like, I love the whole crowdfunding model, and I think this has been great. But like, it's so slow. It's so agonizingly slow. And I've worked so hard to get up to a monthly level. And finally, when I'm able to do a monthly, it's gone, you know? And I'm like,
Right.
oh, no, I want to tell stories. I don't, you know, and then somebody brought it to my attention. It was like, no, this is your chance to kind of do your best work. And I'm like, well, I dig that. I really do. But man, I also want to do more. And then I see people talking about how long this takes. And I'm like, oh, you know, we definitely have to keep kind of pushing pushing this forward and developing how we can get this done faster. And if that's more people doing their one amazing book a year so that the audience can have more stuff coming out, then so be it. I mean, wherever this path is going to end up. But
Well,
I'm
I almost
constantly
look
trying to
at it-
figure out my thing, you know.
I guess I kind of look at it like the European model with those guys
Yeah.
putting out their one album a year.
Yeah.
You know, and now granted, most of those guys are doing the writing, the penciling, the inking, the
Yeah.
coloring, the
And
lettering.
they're getting paid by the page the whole year they're doing it too.
Yeah, but there are certain guys that work with writers, but then still the artist does the penciling, the inking, the coloring, and the
Yeah,
lettering. So it really doesn't get that watered down. But I
Mhm.
mean, that's kind of how I do look at this. And you know, when somebody's like, "But now you have the time to do your best work," you know, to somebody not in it, to them that they think like, "Yeah, but now you literally have the time. You could spend 2 days on a page." But it's like, yeah, but I mean, to do my best work, I don't have to spend 2 days on a page. You know what I mean?
More than, and 9 times out of 10, the stuff that that resonates with people more is when I don't overthink it and spend
Right.
when I'll throw out a sketch that took me like a couple of hours and people are like, whoa, this is great. And then I'm like, oh man, here's my chance. I'm gonna wow. I'll spend like 3 days working on this killer piece. And they're like, yeah, it's pretty good. You know, and I'm like, what happened? What just happened here? I mean,
Exactly.
it's because I'm operating more from an instinctual place when I'm
Right.
just cranking it out. And I think that's getting to the core of like what is interesting me. And then when I polish it up too much, you're losing a lot of that spontaneity, a lot of that, you know, just immediacy. You know, now suddenly there's like a lot more to look at. The face is refined a little more, so there's not that thing where you look at it and you kind of, your brain kind of finishes it, you know.
Right.
It's all there. Not a lot of work to do, and it's, you know, so then you spent 3 days on a page that someone's going to go, they're just flipping the page.
Right. Well, and that's the thing
You know.
that I do kind of remind myself of when I get, because with the OCD, I can remember I was doing a job back in 1993 or 94. So I was only a couple years in the business. And I don't joke. I do have OCD. I take some medication that helps with it. I wasn't taking it back
Booze.
then, and I also have ADHD as well. So it really
Oh
sucks.
Jesus!
Yeah,
You must have been born in 2000 something, right?
well, no.
Every kid's got that now.
But no. So I can tell you, I was working
Smoke
in a
cigarettes,
studio
it'll
with.
help.
I was working in a studio with John Beatty at the time. Shared a studio with him.
Hey, Big John, I love John B.
Oh yeah, and I spent, and this was my OCD because back then I just get into a loop, and I was drawing this, you know, I was drawing some superhero, and his leg was bent. I spent, no kidding, 45 minutes on the knee. I would draw it, I would
Been
erase
there.
it, I would flip it, light box it, redraw it, erase it, and I just got into this loop. And then like 2 days go by, and I go back and look at it, and I'm like, that looks like the first one I drew that I erased. I never should have erased and saved 45 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And what the point I was getting to is most people that read comics, unlike us, because we're artists, and I assume when you look at a comic, I always say, you know, oh yeah, comics are $4 now, and that is expensive for, you know, the 20 minute to read, but it doesn't take me 20. It takes me an hour because I'm generally looking at the artwork. But the normal person, it might take 15 to 20. Well, actually, great example. My daughter, she reads some comics. She'll get it from the store. She'll have it read by the time we get home. It's like a 10-minute ride. And I'm like, what?
And it's all done. Yeah.
And so my point is, you got to realize they're literally, the average person is spending less than 2 seconds on the artwork in the panel.
Yeah.
They look at the art for less than 2 seconds. They read the balloon. They move on. So we're sitting there going, oh, I got to erase this face. Hours later, I'm still working on the same face when the normal guy's like 2 seconds later, next.
I think that's why there are comics for your average reader, your average fan, or someone that has never seen comics. But then there are comics for us. Like Michael Golden is for us. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Adam Hughes, he's for us. I mean, these guys that Travis, some of those guys blur the lines because anybody can look at that stuff and be blown away.
Right.
But Travis, I mean, you don't read Travis's stuff. Let's be honest. You're just looking at the amazing stuff. I mean, there's not a lot of storytelling going on there really visually, but it's freaking amazing stuff. Whereas Michael Golden is equally amazing, super highly detailed, rendered. Every inch of the frame is thought out, but he's got amazing storytelling skills. And like you're reading it. So like, you and I being very practiced in this, or like a fan that's well versed in visual storytelling and all that, they can read through it, get that immediacy, and then like dig back into it and see what they're, the details and all that stuff. So I like to have like a happy medium where, there's a level of craft, but it's mostly about the experience. Like, I don't want you to stall too long. I want you to, like, I'm crafting the storytelling in a way that will hopefully slow you down at the appropriate moments and build you up, and then whoosh, rush you into this action scene and get you carried away,
Well, and dude, that is such a great point, because I try to do that too. And it's funny because, part of the way to speed people through a story is obviously the detail you put into the panels. And that a lot of times is the backgrounds.
Yeah.
So, if you want to speed somebody through a scene, once you've established where they are, if the background's not important, dump it, because there's not as much for the eye to rest on. So they'll speed through it quicker. But the catch-22 to that is you've got some people that are like, look at this lazy hack that didn't want to draw backgrounds. It's like, no, I wanted you to read through that scene faster. If I wanted you to take lots of time, I would have slowed it down by the amount of detail on each panel and stuff to have you look at everything.
I think that this is the importance of a long run. Like a buddy of mine was telling me that, the biggest guys, the guys that their name is always there, are guys that have done a good, 3 years on a book. Know them very well. And like, I think that can be important, not only to establish to the fan, or the consumer, that you're dependable. You're going to be there every month for them, and it's going to be of this kind of quality. So now, and the publisher relies on that too, is that we know when we get John Byrne what we're getting, and that becomes stable, and it becomes, so then the reader can get used to your rhythm. So when he does his whiteout issue, it can be annoying for a minute, but people are like, oh, okay, there's a storytelling aspect to this that he's doing. I'll sit by and I'll go with it, for now. But I'm sure plenty of people complained about that, and no doubt it was definitely to make up time.
But course,
he made it creative. But then my point is that, I think if I did like a 12 issue run on something, that will give people time to kind of get used to the rhythms that I'm creating, and that, there will be moments where I blow out the art, and then other times where I'm speeding through it, and maybe they'll get used to like why I'm doing these things, or like they'll, more importantly, they won't even think about that. They'll just be like totally into the story. So,
well, and it's funny, speaking about Byrne, when I was growing up, first couple years after getting used to reading Byrne stuff, 'cause I bought everything he did. As an artist, I realized, check this out. He establishes a scene, and I'm sure he was doing this because he was drawing so many books a month. It's not because he was trying to speed make you read it faster, but it's like, oh, look, John establishes a scene, and then he doesn't draw backgrounds for a while, unless maybe on the page turn he does to reestablish, so you ground you where you are again.
Mhm.
But sometimes it would be establish the scene, no backgrounds, scene change, establish the scene, backgrounds, long shot, whatever, find out where the characters are in the room, no backgrounds.
Mhm.
And uh-oh, his camera's twerking.
Who, mine?
There you are. Oh, you're back. So
Oh.
a part of me is like, I don't think he was doing that from the standpoint of, no, I want you to read quicker, so I'm not going to draw backgrounds. I think for him, it was just like, man, I'm drawing $3 a month. I already
That's
told
true.
you we're at a restaurant. I don't need to know the details of the restaurant now
Well,
while these two cats are talking.
There's an actual thing. If you really want to like look at it, from a perspective of like how much do I need to draw or whatever. If like somebody's harassing you about like, you don't draw backgrounds in every. I know Europeans kind of hassle us about not drawing backgrounds in every
Right.
panel, things like that. Well, look at movies. Movies, when you're establishing a new shot, they'll give you a nice wide shot. And it's usually a wide angle lens and it's deep focus so you can see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then they cut in to the conversation that's had. The background is generally blurry.
Yeah,
you're not getting anything. You're focusing on the face. You're focusing on what matters at that moment, the conversation. Yep. So that's not a background. You know what I mean? Like
it's
not
there
important
because it's literally there. But if they wanted to, they could have it all in the exact same focus, but they don't, because that's not the focus.
They're trying to focus your attention on what matters. Yeah.
Right. And then just like in a 2-shot in a movie where, it is, foreground person, midground person, sometimes they'll rack the focus with the person in the foreground. The guy in the background's a little blurred. And then when it's his turn, the focus rack changes to the dude in the background in focus now, but you're 100% right. In a movie, it's not. And going back to the Todd thing, because I loved Todd's Spider-Man stuff from the standpoint of it's like, and this also goes to a Kubert thing. Joe was always like, move the camera. Comics is still. There's no motion in comics. So how do you get the motion? In and out, in and out. So yes, are there times where if it's a 6-panel page of 2 people talking, you might want to just do a medium shot for all 6 panels to establish that nice flat rhythm?
Yeah.
Sure. But what if you want to vary the size of the panels, which varies the rhythm, and then vary like, hey, let's do a long shot of the 2 people talking. Let's do an outside shot of the building they're in with the word balloons going to it. Let's cut to an intense close-up of the dude's eye with the word balloon. And that gets you that push and pull movement that you don't get because it's a static form.
There's also, like there's so much. This has been my problem with like American comics for years, is that you get a double page spread. Like I'm reading the most amazing. I'm not reading. I'm reading the art of the most amazing Olivier Coipel like art, and then I get to this double page spread. I'm like, oh my god, what's he gonna do? Oh, it's people standing around, and I know that's not Olivier doing that. That's the writer, and he's interpreting it the best he can. But it's like, okay, my philosophy is if you're going to do a scene, a heavy expositional scene where there's a lot of information you got to get across, either have them do it on the go. They're walking somewhere, so you're visually accomplishing something. They're headed from point A to point B. Or you read into that script and you craft something. Like I just watched what is it? What's that Sam Raimi Western where they're doing the shootouts? Quick and the Dead. Quick and the Dead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Quick and the Dead. And there's a scene with Gene Hackman and I forget her name.
Was that the one with Sharon Stone?
Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone and Gene Hackman are having this conversation, this dinner scene.
Yeah.
And he's explaining to her, he like picks up this apple. So it's just talking. It's just 2 people sitting at a table. But she's under the table fumbling with a gun. So there's this whole story that she's might be trying to assassinate him right here. But the conversation is just going along. So already there's this whole other level of subtext going on where she's is she going to shoot him? And then she drops the gun at one point and stops it just before it hits the thing. That's this whole other level of visual storytelling going on. Meanwhile, Gene Hackman picks up this apple and he's telling this story about his dad, and he's cutting this apple, and there's like tension. It's so tense.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the end of the story where he's revealing bits of why he is the way he is, and he just cuts that last bit of apple off, thing falls, and it's like you're visually interpreting the tension of the story that's being told. So that's just two people in a room talking, yet there is so much going on visually.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely ways to spice that up to make that more appealing, than just having people stand there with a block of dialogue. I hate that.
I read a novel. Actually, in the chat, the guy said it. DiCaprio was in that movie as well.
Yeah, you're very young, DiCaprio, Leonardo.
Why is it I don't remember? But here's the thing: he said Russell Crowe too. I don't.
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Was he?
Yeah, he's the young Russell Crowe too. Yeah, that was after Romper Stomper. After what's the one where he was like the guy in the computer that comes out? Denzel Washington was like the guy.
But was it? This was before Gladiator, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was before Gladiator. Gladiator's when he like
blew
launched
up
into the stratosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I thought. Yeah,
he'd done a ton of movies before that. I was actually a Russell Crowe fan before he became famous, and then he still did a good movie for a long time. But I saw him. I was working at Blockbuster, and I saw Romper Stomper, which is about like some neo-Nazis or something in like Australia or something. I don't remember what it was about, but I remember him blowing me away.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, who the hell is this guy? He's like real. I thought he was like a real like white supremacist or something. I was like, this is,
oh my God, I gotta look that up.
Like a documentary.
I love seeing early stuff like that with actors of that caliber, because I was trying to tell my daughter, do you have kids?
No. Thank God.
So I've got an 18-year-old daughter, and I remember, I can remember going to movies at her age too. But when you're in your teens, first going to movies, you see actors like, for instance, the first time you see Tom Cruise, when I was a kid and I saw Tom Cruise, I know who he was. So he was super believable in whatever role, Risky Business, whatever,
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But now you go to a Tom Cruise movie. It could be
it's Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Tom Cruise could be doing, you know what? I'm going to do this slasher horror movie that's going to scare the shit out of you. And it's like, no, it's not, because you're Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I mean, everybody gives credit to those last few Mission Impossible movies, which I really enjoyed. But honestly, I still couldn't tell you what happened in the story. Yeah, I went there to watch Tom Cruise do some amazing shit, jumping off airplanes or whatever the hell. I'm going for the spectacle. It's now a theme park action stunt spectacular. That's why I'm going. But that doesn't make it any less interesting to me. But I mean, I maybe the stories are really good. The writer's great, but
what was it on? Oh my God! On Netflix. Did you ever watch Ozark?
Yeah, I like that show. Yeah.
So Jason Bateman, once again, you're kind of it's not that it pulls you out of the story because it's an actor you're so familiar with, because he did, he was great, because it definitely wasn't his thing. Because I always think Jason Bateman comedy, not Jason Bateman drama.
Right. Yeah.
So that was cool. But the actress whose name I'm forgetting that played kind of his assistant with the blonde curly hair.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew her, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This was the first thing I've ever seen her in. And I was just mesmerized, because I'm like, I don't know what this girl sounds like in real life. That could be her real accent, or this is just, an acting accent. I have no clue. But she was so mesmerizing to me that when I did see her in a couple other things after Ozark, it was still mesmerizing, because I realized, oh shit, yeah, that was an accent she was doing for Ozark. You know what I mean? And her hair was different, and she wasn't a bitchy person like she is in Ozark. Totally different acting.
Right? I've grown to really appreciate what actors bring to the table, because I used to want to be a director and make movies. I just wanted to tell stories, no matter how I could do it. But I didn't really consider the actor and what they bring to the table until I saw a couple different performances. One is the dude from Big Lebowski. Oh, yeah. There's a moment where he's trying to explain a story, and he doesn't actually say anything, but you know exactly what he's talking about. He's like, man, there's like a lot of ins and outs, and there's things, man, you just don't understand. And he's trying to make it through this thing where he's explaining what's happening, but he doesn't actually say anything, and it's just brilliant. And but I tell you, the first time that really got me was actually the first time I ever saw John Malkovich, and I didn't know who John Malkovich was. I think it was Jennifer 8. About the blind girl, and there's like killers trying to kill, and I think Aidan Quinn is in it. And but anyway, there's like a bit, I could be thinking of another movie, but there's a bit in there where he plays like an FBI guy, and he comes in kind of incrementally at different parts in the story, and he's interviewing somebody, I guess, or interrogating, and he has this cold that starts, it starts off kind of light, and then progressively each time you see him, the cold is getting worse and worse. And I thought he was a real guy. I mean, I was younger.
Not only that, but this, they don't film movies in order.
Exactly.
So it's like
the forethought there is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. The fourth. Exactly. And because I used to want to be an actor, and so I did some, in the late 90s, I took some classes. I did some student films at this big film school nearby. I've done a couple commercials, whatever. And it's definitely not when you hear people go, oh, you're just memorizing lines. Oh, no. It's more than that. No. Now, granted, we can see movies with comedic actors where you're just like, oh, yeah, I mean, he's literally playing the role he always, like Bruce Willis. And in certain action movies these days, Bruce is just reading the script going, yeah, whatever. I got it. You know what I mean? He's not going for the gold anymore.
No, but I don't mind.
No, I don't mind it either because they're entertaining.
I just want to watch
Bruce. Then you see like Stallone in Copland
where
he gained all that weight. And you're like, that dude knows how to act. He's not just some,
he was different. I just watched that again not that long ago and was really blown away again by his performance, because you start off seeing Stallone, but very quickly you realize that this isn't Stallone. This is a different person. He's slower in his thought process, or he's not trying to save the day. And then even towards the end, I mean, just his character arc in that is so great. And that's got to be one of his best performances. And
gotta be
definitely why you got to consider him an actual actor. I mean,
I'm trying to think.
Rocky, he's great in that actual
Rocky,
acting.
He's fantastic. But besides Copland, I'm trying to think of another movie that I would put at that level for Stallone besides like Rocky. Because Rambo's don't cut it. Rambo's, he's just doing his thing.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Great. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I really like even the movies that like people don't like, Daylight, where he's trapped in the tunnel and he's trying to help people. It's still Stallone, but he's doing another character. There's this character that's you could tell he's just kind of a good guy. He's trying to do the right things, just trying to help people, and he's getting roadblocked left and right. He has like zero ego, and there's like another character, Viggo Mortensen plays this like rock climber dude, and he's got loaded with ego. And when you see the two together, you see that Stallone's character is very unique to what he's trying to do, and that he doesn't stray into Stallone territory. So I would consider that a great Stallone performance. Whereas like one of my favorite Stallone movies is not his greatest performance is what was it with what was that movie? Tango and Cash.
Oh, Tango and Cash. Come on, man.
I love that movie.
Where is the sequel? They could do a sequel today with Tango and Cash.
I love Tango and Cash. That's got to be one of the worst Stallone performances.
It is. But Kurt Russell,
he's
Stallone,
great. Yeah.
You got, once again, that's a movie they could do a sequel to easily. And I really also think they could do another 48 Hours, do a third one of those and bring Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy back, and it would still work.
It would. I mean, it would be funny seeing them as like old men still yelling at each other.
Well, and the funny thing is, Nick Nolte, looks like an old guy. Eddie doesn't.
No,
But
yeah,
and they could
that could be part of the joke. You could
they
easily
could
write
write
that.
jokes around that.
Mhm.
30 years later, Nick Nolte's like, "What the? You haven't
Hey,
aged. What the hell?"
You look like hammered dog shit, but I still look beautiful. Shut up. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's like, "Did you just walk out of a freaking nursing home? What the hell's going on with you?" You know.
Still driving that same shitty blue.
Oh my God, that would be
Cadillac.
perfect. We got to write this. They could do a third 48 hours, and Nick Nolte still drives up in that car.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's just like, what the hell?
Yeah. There's so many great opportunities that Hollywood could be exploring, but they're just remaking things that are already good. Like I didn't need another Total Recall. It was great.
But the thing is, are they making another Total
Recall? No, they already did. they remade it.
Who was in it?
Irish dude from Phone Booth and from
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah.
Oh,
Colin Farrell and absolutely amazingly beautiful woman. I can't remember her name either.
I did see that now.
Jennifer Beals.
Yeah, I remember.
And the director's wife too from Underworld, who is like one of our best action women. Kate Beckinsale.
Mila Jovovich?
No. Kate Beckinsale. She's the other one.
Beckinsale, yeah.
Mila and Kate hold it down for the ladies. We need some more like lady action stars, but they do it great. They do a good job. I believe it. Like when Kate Beckinsale's kicking ass, I mean, she's got the look, she's got the moves. I buy it. As long as you can sell that punch. But I mean, there's the whole thing with like women. Women can't overpower men, and we've seen them doing that a lot in movies, and I'm like, I don't know, but that's where kung fu comes in. You hit them in the right spots. If you make it believable, I'll buy it.
If they do the right fighting technique and style, I think it can sell. But if you're just punching some dude, I'm not huge by any means. I'm 5'10", 175.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a woman couldn't punch me and knock me out. I'm sure they could, but
sure.
If you're trying to pull off one of these actresses that's like 5'3",
yeah, right.
She's not doing jujitsu or some type of martial art. She's just going to punch me.
Yeah. Yeah, she better be like flipping around on the walls and like I remember this one scene from a comic from Frank Miller. I think of Sin City. I think it was the first run of Sin City where he's got that skinny. Marv is like this giant monster of a man. They've set up this whole thing about how he's basically indestructible and nobody can really do anything about him. And then he gets tangled with that the Jeff Deroe lookalike. He's like a skinny serial killer with glasses. And he's jumping around everywhere and he can't get him. And Marv is getting his ass kicked, but Marv, he does have some thinking. He locks him in handcuffs, keeps him in arm's reach, and then just beats the ever living hell out of the dude. It's like once the guy can't jump around, he's got him. So you could see the dynamic in that. So if you got like a lady who's like really good at fighting, you could see as long as she can keep out of that zone,
the box,
then she probably do okay. But just don't get trapped in there. But see, that's what makes a compelling fight scene. Is like,
and that's why
the give and take.
You could take somebody if you do a fight scene with a woman that is short and small in stature, but if you have it choreographed like Bruce Lee, then it sells. Because look, Bruce Lee would kick our ass no problem.
Oh yeah,
he was a small dude, right? So if they go into it going, let's choreograph these fight scenes with this woman like she's a Bruce Lee type fighter.
Yeah. Well, like Michelle Yeoh, I believe she could kick some ass. I've seen her kick some ass, and I believe every minute of it. I mean, she's a badass.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you watch her in like a Jackie Chan flick, she's brilliant. She's doing amazing things, but it looks hard. She sells the fact that this is not easy what she's doing, and the character itself is struggling in these moments. That's great. She's brilliant at that stuff. So
that was one of the talk about. I think one of the best that comes to mind, I don't know why I thought of it when you brought that up, was in the first season of Daredevil on Netflix.
Oh
That
yeah.
hallway fight.
Oh my God. That's
Because he was getting so tired.
and the stairwell one
Oh,
I
and
think was in
every fight was taking it
yeah.
out of him, but that hallway fight, I remember
It's the
reading or
one
seeing
reason
something.
I like that show because of that. I was like,
Yeah.
holy cow, this looks hard.
And the thing is, if I remember reading correctly, he'd go in, because it was a hallway with doors and rooms on either side. And basically, when he went into a room, like knocked the guy into a room or whatever, when they came back out, it was always a fresh stuntman, but
Yeah,
it was the same dude as Daredevil.
yeah, but they made it look hard, like he's yeah, but I remember watching, I saw the stairwell one first.
Yeah.
I kind of was skipping around, or I saw it somewhere, and I was like shocked. I was like, this is it. This is like this is Daredevil. Because I mean, he's just a man who has heightened senses. So the idea that taking on like a room full of guys, he would be winded, he would be like hurting. I'm like, this is so, and that's something I actually never considered before. Like, reading Daredevil comics growing up, I never really considered that. I was just like, oh, he's amazing, he could do it. There were bits and some Frank Miller stuff that really kind of made you think about that. Driving in the rain, taking what's his name to the hospital. He can't see, and he's sliding into cars, and the rain is disturbing his like vision, and like they really made it difficult. So I love that kind of stuff. But I'd never seen that kind of thing in a fight scene, except for maybe They Live, but Roddy Piper and what's his face? They made it great, where it just looked exhausting.
Yeah.
And that's a fight, man. I throw one punch and I'm winded.
Oh, dude.
And my hand's hurting.
That's just it, man. I used to do this place called 9 Rounds, which is a half-hour thing where it's 9 different stations to work out at. And it literally takes a half hour because you're basically at a heavy bag doing a certain thing, whether it's punching or kicking, for 3 minutes straight. Then you get like 30 seconds to rest, and whatever it is, it totals out. You're done in a half hour with the 9 different stations. And
I'm like literally done. I'm spent.
Oh yeah, you're toast. Halfway through, I was like, oh, and it's funny too because the last station is just the small speed bag, So
it's good. It's almost like a warm down.
Yeah, it's like a little, and that's what they did. They start off with like jumping rope or something for 3 minutes. So it gets your heart rate going. But then it's like heavy bag. I don't know what they would call it, but it was a huge medicine ball that was suspended from the ceiling and the floor. So it could just kind of move this way. So it couldn't get too out of control. And then it was like some other station, but then it did end always with the speed bag, which was kind of like the 3 minute wind down. So.
Well, we can tie this all back into comics, that these are things that make a well-rounded character and story in comic, is when you challenge your human beings, if they are human beings, or if they're superpower, you still have to challenge them. You have to, like, what are their limitations? Well, I'm going to poke at that in the story and like really make it hard. And that gets the reader invested, in these kinds of things, when you show the limitations and you really make the character strong. This is what's, again, great about manga, is that they tear their characters down to nothing, and then their character, through just pure will and resolution, they stand up and they're like, I'll never give up, and I'm like, yeah, you just want to go get them, that's what makes it fun. It's a catharsis at that point.
Well, that was the great part of the first Captain America movie, when before he was Cap in the alley, he picked up the trash can lid. I was like, oh, foreshadow that shield. But he's like, I can do this all day. And you're just like, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'd be on the floor.
Yeah. I welled up. I did not understand Captain America until I saw, and this is such a shame, I know, as a comic book guy, I wasn't a huge Captain America fan. Now I'm absolutely love his character because of that never give up, stand up against all odds. kind of way of thinking. And they really illustrated that, especially when, when he jumped on the grenade,
Oh yeah.
and everybody else was, covering their own ass.
Yep. Everybody else
And he's like,
scattered to the wind.
I got it. I'm just like, oh man, what a guy. I love this kid.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's the
it was
kid you root
brilliant.
for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, hey man,
man,
I got to get some lunch bad. Were you about to
I was
end
just
this
about
too?
to say I got to wrap
Okay.
it up, so I got to go run some errands and then pick my kid up from work. So
Hey, real quick, everybody was asking me if I got a campaign or
Yeah.
when I'm going to launch. I'm definitely trying to get that done, like in the next couple months to launch. But you also got to consider Christmas is around the corner, so I'm trying to get it out before then. But if it gets too late, it may roll over to next year. I hope not, but I don't know. If that doesn't bother anybody, I'll launch it anyway.
God,
We'll
man,
see.
if you
I'm
think
working on it,
Christmas
though.
is around the corner, then Thanksgiving must be next week. We're still a ways
It's close.
Don't fast forward that much.
But these stay on for 30 days, so that's a month, and then a 30 days off for next, and then it could go on longer than that. But I'm trying to get as much done ahead of time so that as soon as it's ready, it can go out. But that kind of
totally.
That also depends on my publisher. So
I hear you, brother. Hey man, I thank you so much for coming on, dude.
That was fun, man. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Hopefully we'll do it again and catch up at a show or something. So
yeah. Well, I'll pop on again. You do these like every morning, so maybe if I get froggy and you want some company, I'll pop in. We can talk comics.
Yeah, definitely. What part? Not the exact location, but I thought you're West Coast, aren't you?
No, I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, so is that
south.
An hour difference, or is there no time difference?
It's let's see, it's 2 hours from the West Coast, 1 hour from the East Coast.
Okay, so you're going on 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'll always send over a thing, and hopefully we can do this again. So
yeah, for
good,
sure.
Man.
Hey, great seeing you guys in the chat too. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, take it easy, brother.
All right, you too, buddy. Later.
Bye.
How do I turn it?
Well, there you go, everyone. Who knew my Captain America inking stream would turn into hang out with Kelsey and talk about everything stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do have to run. Thank you all so much for joining me. Please remember to back First Man. It is my baby. And with you guys, we can bring him to life. And this is the trailer with my awesome voice.
Luke Henry, after kicking Monarch's ass to the depths of space, is back on Earth. And now he's looking to save the world from the Fourth World Foundation. Sure, he had help from Penumbra before, but she's not helping him this time. He's got to face it on his own. Look at these four people. He's coming for a villain known as Adonis. He'll do it. You'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2, Learning Curve.
Oh, yeah. So please back it. There's a link in the description below. All the support helps. Thank you guys for joining me on this lovely Saturday. I will be back Monday morning, or who knows, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I still got to ink some of this Captain America, and it ain't happening today. Val, if you want to Facebook me some good microphones that I can afford, that would be awesome. And I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining me. And for everybody new, please subscribe to the channel, like it, and share it. And if you're new, I'm always bringing this back.
I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. Go ahead, go with it. 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 Sexy girl. 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 Get your sexy on.